I thought it was 6:30 in the morning. I was here already by 6.
Yeah, well, so last time we spoke, I told you I do have it blocked 6:30 till so 6:30 your time for an hour and a half. I had it blocked, but you had grabbed the time at right now, so I was like, oh, we're not going to meet, and I was like,
It's okay.
We don't need 3 sessions. But anyways, I'm glad it all worked out.
Yes.
And just to set some time restraints. I am free for an hour and a half. If you want to use it all, we can do it.
We can
So
go.
we'll take it as needed. So let me just pull up my notes here for a second.
Okay.
And how was your New Year's and Christmas?
Computer, the same way you see me right now is the same way I'm all the time. Even the guys here at Starbucks, they were asking me if there's anything I was going to celebrate. I'm like, well, I'm celebrating that I'm learning how to run like more about my business, and once I get into like a pitch competition, I'll be able to say less stupid stuff like, "Oh yeah, my company is worth $3 billion," and actually say, "Well, you know what? My company is worth just in projections 3 millions, but with your help, we can achieve that goal." So it was spending a lot of time practicing and just getting ready for the boot camp and getting my homework done. So
awesome. Okay, well, I got my notes up on the screen. So catch me up then. I know we went back and forth, and my quick caveat is I'm not a legal advisor. I didn't know you were going to put us on the same thread, which is completely fine. It puts me just in a little bit of this awkward position because I'm advising you. I'm not a legal person. And the Brink through Natalia recommended you through George. So George should be acting in your best interest, but at the same time, I don't know if it's like an official affiliation. So
yeah, I'm also I want to learn more and really define what our roles and positions and the benefits from this, because this is also new to me. But I think that if I keep everybody in the loop, it makes things a lot easier to navigate and kind of keep everybody in the same page.
Yeah, and maybe let's start there. So my role for you, again, through the Brink, I am your primary advisor. So in this case, I'm more of a generalist. So if you have a question, you need help on whatever it is, I can direct you to who you need to talk to.
Okay.
So think of me as your primary advisor. Natalia is a very specialized legal advisor. Sometimes she can answer questions. If it gets too specific, that's why she refers you out. And so with George, I would say that the agreement that the two of you have, like that is between the two of you. If you want to bounce a question legally speaking, you can bounce it off Natalia. I'm not going to really be of any help. And for me, you just keep me in the loop. But you don't need to CC me.
Okay.
These sessions are good enough for us to catch up on. But if you have a question, then pull me in.
Yeah, like for example, that was the first one. Okay, so let's start then with the litigation part of the first test. I think that's what we're gonna start with.
Sure. Yeah. If you just want to talk about the legal stuff, like one, did you sign you signed the contract? Did he countersign it?
I haven't received it from him, and what I wanted to know then is the engagement letter comes after we make our deposit, right?
The
Usually?
engagement letter. What is the engagement letter you're talking about?
Or would it, like, I just signed the document. What's the next step? I haven't gotten a response back from him.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the holidays, so I'm assuming he may just be out. So typically, what happens with your legal representation is that document just, well, yeah. What happens next is you guys will get on a call, or he'll send an email. But keep in mind, and just to review, like what you signed, if you didn't make any modifications since you sent it to me, that is a time and materials contract. He did not adjust it to being a fixed. So again, you, Mauro, need to just be mindful that every 15, 10, every minute you spend with them, they will bill you for every email, if you send an email with 100 words versus 1 word, he'll bill you for that. That's just how lawyers work. And so the thing that he said that the hours that you signed up with him for were for converting the LLC. Put this in here. Converting the LLC. Yep, setting up. I'm sorry, converting your C corp, and then to set up your cap table, and then advise you on shares, like the distribution.
Yeah.
And then kind of like ad hoc questions. But what he said, this go around, you wouldn't have enough time to spend on the litigation side. So if you did decide to do that, he may send you another document to sign. But for now, you can do your cap table, the share distribution, ad hoc questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. That's a good path.
Okay. So your question is just
So
what other questions do you have on
I
that?
just need to wait for him to get back at me, set up that call, and then I think that's where I'll find more information. I'm guessing that's where we finalize our agreement and make the payment. And once the payment is done, that's where the clock starts ticking, right?
Yeah, I didn't read. I read it. I didn't read all of your billing stuff. I'm gonna have to defer that to you. But most legal companies set it up where the way that mine set mine up was I let's say mine was $5,000. They took a retainer of $5,000. Like I had to transfer $5,000 into their bank. And then over the course of the 2 months that I was working with her, she would like draw from there. So she doesn't spend it, but she draws from there. And then at the end, she'll return whatever wasn't spent. So it's kept in this like retainer box. So you may have set that up. I don't know. Alternatively, he may ask you for like half the payment up front, half of not. So you need to just take a look at the contract that you signed to see what you signed up for.
No,
But if you're
I like
yeah.
it the way that you were saying, because I'm actually gonna share this information with. I'm pushing my family to help me with this because this is more. Um, there's a. I need this to be set in stone in regards to the money, like from like knowing where the source is coming in. So um, setting up like I think it's what is it called? It's a separate account where they just draw from it, and it's completely separate from me, like from my accounts, everything, and it's the sole purpose is for legal. Um, that is gonna give them a little sense of uh, relief, because we don't know none of this, and they're even more skeptical about what I'm doing. So being surrounded and getting this information from you is gonna help me get that done. Hopefully, on average, what is the cost that I should probably take into account? I'm seeing around. I'm looking around the industry, and it's about $20,000
For what?
for to do this work to convert my LLC to a Delaware C corp.
Um,
Even if,
I don't know. Everyone's different because it depends on the complexity of your financial scenario. Like how much have you done on the LLC versus the C corp? Like I can't really give you a range. But the contract that you signed based upon the conversation you had with George and the email and the contract, I think you had a not to exceed $3,000, right?
yeah, but that sounds they are going to exceed that. It's just there's no way they're going to be able to do all that work for $3,000, are they?
Well, I don't know,
Yeah.
but you the thing that you need to keep in mind is their rate's 500 an hour, 495. So at 495 an hour, that gives 6 hours to go into this. Converting a LLC to a C corp, there's the legal paperwork. That stuff should be easy, easy, easy for them. That should happen within the 6 hours. The reason that you'd go over the 6 hours is again, I don't know, but how many sessions you have, how many questions that you have, how many emails you send. Um, it depends on again, what did you do with your LLC? Like how I keep saying how complex. How many variations of things did you throw in there? And I just don't know any of that. So yeah, it should happen within 6 unless there's something that I'm just not aware of.
Yeah,
So
no, it's very simple because I mean, I did some stuff that I was misinformed or not informed enough. So mainly what we did was testing and development. We didn't sell anything. We didn't brought took payment from anybody. At least through the app, I did it myself through testing and independently, which I usually utilize the data that I gathered to um, verify the formula that we were trying to use or we're using. So that's another thing. I've been talking to other advisors, and I've spoken with other lawyers before. They're like, it looks like it's gonna be something very simple. I think the only main issue is how we're gonna do this. If it's gonna be a complete merge or just close down the LLC. There's two paths, and those are the ones I'm gonna discuss then with George. But if considering also that there's clarity in regards to my situation and that my mom does not, she's just a lender now in this case. Same thing as the other people, the other persons involved. They just lend me money, and
got it.
that they're gonna. My mom doesn't want returns or anything like that. It's like just simplify for me, and the only one I need to consider is my friend who lent me the $160,000. Um, that's it, and it's a safe note, but it does need to be cleaned up and made look professional. Because I just grabbed a template from it's um, it's a law service. It's really good. Rocket Lawyer. They have a good template for a safe note. So I
Okay.
just use that. But they are, in this case, he's going to refine that and make sure that he gets to choose between 10 times or equity.
Okay.
So that's on that. Okay, that was pretty good. Litigation with Crowbotics. Actually, I'm not going to litigate them anymore. I'm just really going to say, you know what? Give me my app back, and I'm gonna be part. I'm gonna tell this part of the story to my people. If you wanna like not stop me from saying that, give me something in return, or otherwise, I'm just gonna keep on. We can keep going forward and bear the consequences of our actions. Um, so that's pretty much it for the Crowbotics and the litigation. Because again, it's the drain of money, resources, and my space in my head that I
Uh
just don't
huh.
want to deal with. Um,
Okay.
Now, this is a very important part, and this is where I think you can help me, or as something that George will cap table, or give me an idea what the conversation is going to look like, or what I should be thinking about right now. Because I mean, I already have one in mind. They told me to start off with 10 million shares and assign them a value of 0.00001. Um, but also, I wanted to see if this is where if this was uh, because it says here to inform advisors. Um, right now, for example, I asked that to ChatGPT, and based on what we're doing, it's suggesting that I allocate 2%, 200,000 shares
To who?
to the advisors.
Like me, advisor?
Yes, well, actually, that's what I wanted to ask. If what this is what you meant, because when you wrote your email, it says building cap table and how to inform advisors on shared distribution. Did you mean to say my lenders or my partners?
I meant to say you were angel investors, not
My
advisors.
angel investors.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. No, and just to be very, very clear, we're state funded, we're government, like I am not
But
someone on
how
your
can
cap
I
table.
bring you? Oh, that's okay. That's another question. How can I bring advisors that are working or
Yeah.
in situations, bring them on board? Because then I have to start all over again and finding other people who can then become my advisors
Yeah.
when they have.
Well, think about it this way. Let me sorry to interrupt you. So Natalia, myself, and there's eight. I think there's 12 or 18 of us now. Uh, um, we are on by legal obligation. Like you know why we exist, but
Yeah.
we are not allowed to invest in our clients. We're not allowed to do actually a lot of things, but we're solely here to help you. So legally speaking, 12 months after my contract with the Brink ends, I can engage with my clients. But I've been a brink. I don't plan on quitting like anytime. Like I'm probably gonna do this for the next 5-10 years. But that's okay. The only reason it would matter is um, if you wanted to put me like on the cap table. But the reason I do this is not for
No, I know, no, no, no,
that.
no. I
So,
get it.
so I can so I guess let me back up. Let me ask on my conversation next week. I think you can list Natalia and me as your advisors. It'd actually probably be better just to put the Brink as an advisor. Like when you show your advisors on a pitch deck, you can write you
Yeah,
can put the Brink, right?
yeah,
You don't have to list out me or Natalia. And then you could also put the areas of specialization that you get advice. Funding, legal, sales, and marketing. So yeah, you're covered there.
yeah. Because that's my only my what I feel from that I get from the brink is more than that. But I do understand that, and my fear then is to having to go look for that advisor that I'm gonna pay them and give them the shares, and I have to start all over again. So get them up to speed and whatnot, and to see if
Yeah.
they're gonna bring that, if they're the type of talent that I need. So that's why I'm always trying to figure out what are the segregating lines to make sure that we stay within our boundaries. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. But no, in that case, I did do the shared distribution. Another thing that I spoke with George too that I mentioned is that
Can I just sorry
sure,
before we lose my train of thought?
yeah,
The last thing on the brink is and other advisors. So let's use the term advisors used two different ways here. And I want to clarify. So yes, I am an advisor. When you convert to a C corp, you potentially will get create a board of advisors, right? And that's what everyone talks about, like who's on your board. The board members, so the board members are, those are very specific people that bring something,
yeah,
whether it's funding or specific advice, and they do get part of the cap table. So that is a paid thing with shares. There's also just advisors, like who is an advisor to your company. That's where I fall in that category. And so I think you're still a little too early to form your board of advisors because you don't, it's not necessary. But that board of advisor will also have other decision making capabilities, right? When you guys talk about anything, they have a vote they have a vote. So you're not there yet, but for your advisors, I think you're covered with everything that the SBDC provides, right? Between Natalia and myself, we're just part of the Brink. There are 9 other centers that are funded by the state of California through SBDC. So if you need anything else, we got you covered. It's all free services. Up until the point, like the legal stuff, you have to pay for.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's true, and I'm looking. Like I said, I'm gonna look forward to creating that board and making sure that people know that I got this. My information and my backing comes from you guys. That's actually the main thing that I'm struggling with a lot. Because they see me and they're like, "Well, it's just you," and it's kind of difficult. And I remember when I used to run a pizza shop and I got stuck in Miami Beach having to run the register and the oven. That's that's actually what I'm doing right now. So I know it becomes hectic, and when I present this to an individual restaurant customer or driver, they look at me and they're like, "Who are you getting this information from?" And yeah, I've always used the SBAs, the Brink, Eiffel, some of the other places that I use to kind of use it as backing. But it becomes more powerful when you have a name or a face attached to that advice. But like you said, I'm a little too early for this, so but it's just good to put it out there and get a
Yeah.
sense of how it should work once I get to that stage. Um, okay. Another
Okay.
thing, the thing I wanted to say too is that I'm not. it's not that I'm aggressive, but the first thing I try to figure out, and you asked me to do this, is to figure out the apex cost to run my business. I think that's what it meant. You know,
Yeah, OPEX costs, operating expenses.
yeah, but OPEX. Oh, I think I wrote apex. So what's the highest cost that I'm gonna incur, um, especially once I'm fully mature? And based on that, that's how I, I price my services. So I figured out, for example, I asked ChatGPT because I feed it other sources, try to look at my competition, how much it takes to run and maintain, build, run, and maintain a software company. And
Yep.
it is expensive, but it's not the major costs. And another thing that I mentioned to you too is that our marketing and customer acquisitions are not going to be using the traditional model where we're going to hire a ton of people to go do that. We're going to be utilizing our restaurants and drivers to do that, which is going to drastically diminish. But it also the drivers and restaurants also deal with customer service in related to their part of the service. So again, that diminishes our cost uh, much lower. And right now, for example, um, at the apex cost estimation, um, at full maturity, meaning a million restaurants with 3 million drivers, it's looking annually to be between 12 and 17 million dollars, which is
Oh,
something.
cost.
Yeah, so infrastructure, cloud space, cloud and storage space probably be the second biggest. But my software engineering team is probably going to be the biggest expense, between $5 to $9 million annually. My marketing would be way higher, but again, because we're going to uh, pay drivers and restaurants to bring us other restaurant
Yep.
drivers and customers,
Yep.
it diminishes to 1 million on average. Um, Customer support, we do the high level customer support, but when it comes to low level, where's my food, the time and stuff like that, restaurants and drivers also uh, do that, and that's what the extra pay is coming in from, uh, incentives. Um,
Yep.
the app updates and maintenance again is through software engineering, which is our cooks that we hire. It's about $2 million annually. Legal and compliance, it's gonna be more. It's probably gonna be about 500 minimum, but it could grow depending on barriers, especially with the new administration that's coming in.
Okay.
And management, human resources, is probably going to be um, another 500 to $1 million. So this is just for the U.S. market. We're looking at 17 million. That's what I've been able to guess from DoorDash, Uber Eats. That's what they take. So considering that even if I pay the our employees top notch dollar for the work, it leaves a lot of space uh, from our revenue, and then our expenses, our net earnings are substantial. Um,
Let me ask you this, Mauro.
yeah.
First of all, well, two questions. One, this is the first time you've looked into this. What did you walk away thinking after seeing those numbers? Did you feel like optimistic
Oh
or
my
like
God, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, think about it. I'm a pizza maker by my trade is that's why I can relate to. Um, so when I want to sell a pizza, the first thing I need to figure out is kind of how much it's going to cost me to, my the base, the raw materials, and then the utilities to make it happen. The oven, the gas, and all stuff like that. And then based on that, I just multiply based on my needs or what I need to achieve to make a profit. So in reality, like, even if I were to expend $100 million annually to run my company, which I will eventually, especially if I implement a higher function ideas like my own corporate coin and um, marketing, it still leaves me like with a lot of space. It gives me a lot of flexibility. So I, I what I'm what I walk away with is wondering what was the competitors thinking. because again, when we start a business, we do it with the intent of making money and maximizing your profits versus how much you invest to make that product or service. So I'm just I was befuddled trying to figure out what they were thinking when they were coming up with the prices for their services.
Yeah, well, that's a good question, and I'm not sure, but I appreciate you also sharing out how that left you feeling because I'm curious there. Let me just ask. I'm writing this down. So the 17 million of costs that you came up with, you said that was at your max kind of revenue capture. How many customers did you say that was at 1 million?
My customers, because my
Yeah,
1 million restaurants and 3 million drivers.
1 million restaurants and 3 million drivers. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
So because the engineering is a person, like I'm trying to like see if I can make this more simple for me to understand, but also to communicate. Because having an engineer in your, having a cook in your kitchen, you can build and maintain anything on your menu.
Yeah,
So it's the
no, no,
exact same thing.
that makes complete sense. So let me ask you this. Remind me, when we remember we talked about your TAM, Sam, SOM, your market. Do you have at your TAM 1 million restaurants and 3 million drivers?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure that those numbers lined up. And yeah, that makes complete sense just in terms of the cost analysis. In terms of the revenue, based upon the current revenue you have today, your forecast, what does that put you at with the 1 million restaurant and 3 million drivers?
Uh, let me pull the math real quick.
Okay, because you have the cost, so I'm curious what it puts you for the revenue.
Revenue for drivers is so on the driver's side, it's $3.6 billion annually.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
3.6 billion
3.6 for the drivers. Okay, and then restaurants.
for the restaurants. It's 365 million. Now this is before we add the marketing platform for our drivers, which so far I've done my research surveys with my drivers and nobody has said no. They're like, why would I say no to $12,000 to something that I just push a button and push play? That's the basic. So um, at that moment, when that with that implemented, that becomes when we implement the car top, which earns the drivers $12,000 and us $12,000 each, um, plus what they pay us annually, and we multiply that by 3 million drivers. That's 39 39,600,000,000. Is that 39 billion?
I think so. Sorry, my brain still. I'm focused on this number. I
Right?
don't want to get caught up here, but your math works out in terms of of the revenue, like 3 million at 100 a month times 12. That makes sense, and the restaurants also make sense. I'm just struggling at your 17 million dollars in cost to sustain something. But
Let's
honestly,
multiply it. Yeah, yeah, let's multiply it. Let's say it costs $50 million. Let's say it costs $100 million.
yeah. Well, and I think I know I asked you to kind of do some research here, so I don't know how relevant. I think this is a good exercise, but I think probably not as much.
Because I mean, I've looked at the Uber has the same cost. The difference with them is that since they are a rideshare platform, they have a second revenue stream. And someone showed me a competitor. They're like, "Oh my god!" Because I share them my car top idea. They're like, "Oh, somebody's already doing that." But it's I seen that actually it's kind of old. it's basically advertising inside of the cars when they have a passenger inside, but that doesn't is not as efficient as the car top that I have, because it's a very personal ad and limited to those people who are riding, whereas ours is for everybody who's walking around that car. And our instructions to our drivers is to park near high foot traffic areas. So that's another thing that is gonna separate us. And again, I can't remember the name of the company, but all what they do is they create the content. Our goal is not to create the content; it's just to manage it, because we're gonna curate it from our own social media platform that our users are gonna become part of, and select from the best, and just present that to the to the business and say, hey, you want this, or they will do it themselves. It comes to a point that the same way that people post on Instagram, they'll be able to see the feed from their customers and be like, oh, I like this. Pastor drivers, can you turn this post into an ad for my business? Boom.
Got it.
So and that's so in a way we're utilizing our users to keep the value within our system, so they are more entrenched and become more frequent users, not only because of the service that we provide them, but because of the earning opportunities that we have for them too, as a business owner, as a driver, um, and even as a customer. You can save money or earn some money by making ads for restaurants that you like.
Got it. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So I just want to.
And the number I am this actually, it's the same struggle that you see is I seen it every single time, and I want to figure out why that is the number too much? I mean, $39 billion. Apple does that.
No,
That's
no,
what does.
no. I don't want to shoot you down in terms of your the revenue projections you have are accurate. I think your cost is, I'm going to say, is not accurate. It's hard for me to fathom 17 million for a $3 billion, or 30
Tell me why
billion.
though. Actually, I want to know why. That's actually the part that, since you know you have experience, this is something that I want to go test with my brother-in-law, who I don't get along with because of this situation. But
Okay.
what is the cost of running a company this size would be?
Um. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep all my notes on the screen. This is very much a, I'm going to tell you that this is based upon what I've seen versus, like, I can't point you to a fact.
Mm-hmm.
But let me put it this way. So if you let's do comparative cost. I work for a company that was 25 million in revenue, and actually, I'm just gonna do some quick math. So 25 million in revenue, and let's just say that there's I'm going to use $100,000 per each employee, and there's 120 employees. So 120 employees. So that's 12 million in cost. This is consulting. So I know this is different, but 12 million in cost for the salaries alone. Then let's operational expenditures. I don't know, like 3 million. So 15 million in cost for 25 million in revenue. That's 30% is cost, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let me see. Hold on. Let me do one more thing. Average.
And I'm not using ChatGPT is using historical average salary ranges for software engineering.
So I guess I just typed this in as well. Common rule of thumb in software as a service: the average percentage of OpEx spend for a SaaS company is 40% allocated to sales and marketing, 20% towards SGA, and OpEx into 40-20.
It's
Okay.
marketing. It's the marketing side that is always problematic for SaaS companies. So that's another thing that we are taking into account.
Right. I think this is not answering the question. What percent? So this is saying the percentages within OpEx are X, X, and X. I think what I'm trying to say is imagine that you have 3 billion, right, or 3 million drive. I mean, it's more, what's, I'm having a hard time expressing what I'm thinking. So
Go for it. I'm actually that's I want to know this because every
let's use $100 million, or you know what's probably easier for me is like $10 million revenue for a software as a service company. Okay, so you're making 10 million. You have, I think a $10 million company can be sustained probably by 10 employees. Call it, yeah. So that's 100,000 each. That's a million. Let's call it a $10 million company for 20 employees. I'm just gonna call it. And within the 20 employees, there's marketing, sales, finance, et cetera, et cetera. So 10 million, 20 employees, 2 million. So 20% of your revenue is 20% of the revenue is going to be your salaries for your employees. Okay, sales, marketing, all behind the scenes. I'd say for that amount, you're gonna probably need $1 million for all of your OpEx spend. So your physical location, your laptops, your you say kitchen spend, like whatever, just to operate, like to rent and stuff like that. That's another million. And then if you think the cloud storage, like you said, I wouldn't say it's the storage itself. It's more like the software used to run your marketing, your finance, your compute cost to run SQL software. That's another million. But right now we're talking about 4 million out of 10 million is cost. So 6 million in revenue, 6 million in profit.
yeah.
Okay. But that's 40% of your total revenue goes to cost. So when you think 3 billion in, or 39, let's use round numbers here, $10 billion in revenue, your cost would have to be
400,000, 400 million,
4
400 million.
well, no, in the example that I'm using, if you
Oh,
scale up what I said, the 10 million,
yeah.
if you say that your company is going to be worth $10 billion, then 4 billion would be your cost.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying the scale doesn't work one to one like that.
Yeah, exactly.
To say 17 million to produce 30 billion, hypothetically speaking, like that just sounds absurd.
No, it does.
Like, because then you think, well, what do I need to do when I have a million drivers, right? The customer call center alone, you're gonna have to have, I don't know, 20 people on staff. I don't know. And then you said cloud compute, cloud storage. Cloud storage is one. It's probably not that much. Cloud compute to run all of the geo analysis stuff. That's your big spend for the cost. Yeah. So I think as you do this exercise, I would run out your cost of your sales, your marketing, your customer call center, your engineering support, all of those things. I'd ask you to rerun your numbers for the cost. That number needs to probably
No,
increase.
for me, actually, it's looking to be about 50 to $100 million annually, especially when we reach that potential. ChatGPT was just again saying something that's minimal, 17 million, but on the average cost, especially once we scale, because the team in itself, the foundation team needs to be about 17 people, just in the engineering. Marketing was a huge expense. It was going to be huge, but once I redefined what our plan was, utilizing our drivers and restaurants to acquire customers.
I played when he saw that. I shook his hand. I shook his hand. We have a the younger one has been she like I knew I was like I knew I made her back in every single day. But you guys will ever see her. So you said 24 hours. But you will never see her. Hey Angie, do you remember when it was Julia? Oh no, she wasn't here when I was here.
Back again. All right. I was
Does
worried
it at
that.
the 40-minute mark, but that's okay. We're back in business.
Excellent.
Okay. So where did we leave off? You want to just keep going?
Yes. Let me.
Okay. So, and I don't know if you want to summarize this or if you want to move on to another topic, but I think just you're asking like how to tell your brother-in-law or just generally speaking. I think the point of what I'm saying is you don't when a company scales, it doesn't have to go one-to-one of because there's economies of scale. That's the thing you should say, economies of scale.
Economies of scale.
But economies of scale, but there's believability as well as like what is required, um, what is required to manage and maintain that many drivers, right? So you don't have to manage the physical assets, right? The cars that you don't own, which is great, but it's about the customer service. The app experience needs to be, you know, you need to up your spend there on the custom software development. Um, uh, yeah, there's just like a lot more costs that would go into it.
Well, let me share real quick. And again, I'm just using ChatGPT for general, and then I turn around and share this with you guys. Um, can you see my screen?
I can see it. Yep.
Okay. So I asked ChatGPT Apex employees max with 1 million restaurants and 3 million drivers, and it gives me a breakdown and the names of the cost and the breakdown. So and the number of employees. So back end engineers 20 to 20, front end engineers, DevOps. Like the tech team is gonna be the biggest expense. This is probably gonna be. Then based on our goals of using our drivers and customers, drivers and restaurants to for customer acquisition, and just have like high level customer service or anything of that related on our end, it really brings down our cost. Um, then our other support managers. Now, this probably needs to grow a little bit more, but even if I were to double this for the type of um, company that I'm going to be running, it gives this is the total it says.
Okay.
But I mean, does it look good to you? Because back in engineers, I know that the salary is too low for me. My salary right here.
Oh, right. Also, you had asked me about the mechanical engineer. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll give you an answer here in a second. No. So those engineers don't. Those engineer salaries are not incorrect. Those are good. Product, QA, database, mobile app, DevOps. Yeah, those are all pretty decent.
I want it a little bit higher, but this is what, like, for example, ChatGPT works best when you feed it information, not just let it dream and come up with its own conclusions. So, like, on historical data, back in engineering, front end, DevOps, this is what the cost is. And this is, I asked it, considering what we're doing, especially processing payments, processing orders in real time, tracking people. This is what we do. The type of talent that I'm looking for is what ChatGPT now is. Whenever I refer to it, this is what it's looking like. And if it looks good to you, then it feels if this is what I like using this because it gives me a better idea without having to like spend too much time just getting averages using historical data. So again, I want to refine this, get more information because that is the biggest feedback I get. This is insane. How can you be making and why? I do want to know why DoorDash didn't think about that when they started, but I think it comes with the mindset that you start off with. As a
well, hold on, sorry, just to interrupt. How do you DoorDash? How do you know what? Did you research their revenue?
Yeah.
And their cost.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's very murky. So the average cost they have about 188,000 people. Let me stop sharing screen. Usually, like what I do is try to read their quarterly, but they don't give me enough information. Usually, what I do is ask ChatGPT after I share the documentation that I give. So let me look up that chat.
Yeah, their 10Q or their 10K would most likely share that info.
Thank you. See, I need to learn how to navigate that because I should have had that in.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm here for.
So right now, um, cost of revenue is 4.59 in 2023. Sales and marketing.
Say that. Just give me high level. Don't give me all the details. What is the total revenue and total cost? Sorry, do you have those two?
I'm trying to read. So the cost of revenue 4.59.
Billion
Yeah,
quarterly.
annually.
Oh, 4.59 billion
Annually.
annually.
And
Okay.
then total operating expenses 9.214.
294
20,
billion.
yeah, billion.
So they're operating in the negative.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So your question was, why didn't they think about this before?
What was their thinking when they decided to price their services the way they did? Considering that they were like, we know that, what was that term you use? Scale, market, or economics of scale?
Economies of scale.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because in a sense, they're they were, I mean, they were acting like any regular business, trying to find out ways to extract as much value from what they were doing. But combining, taking that, they were kind of using the economics of scale. It was kind of like um, death by a thousand slices or eventual demise because it was going to be unsustainable. I mean, it's evident that it's unsustainable.
Okay. Well, I'm speculating here, but Uber and DoorDash. Let's say Uber.
You're
They
sinking.
are.
You're sinking.
I'm thinking.
You were sinking.
Oh yeah. So I think there's a little bit of a long game that both Uber and DoorDash are playing because
Yep.
they it's widely known that they're negative in their operational. I mean, they're not profitable, but there's a long game here.
What
I'm
is it?
gonna assume. Well, let's look at Uber, right? Uber does ride sharing, operates at a loss, but then Uber Eats comes into play, right? That's an expansion of their model. I'm sure they're going to be doing something else with that. They're trying to get their brand recognition for them to go do something, right? They could then mine the data, right? I don't know.
Marketing.
Maybe they sell the data that they have to the dealerships, or they sell this customer data. Like that's one revenue stream. The second is maybe they have a play with, I don't know, building their. I'm just speculating. Maybe they're going to build their own car. I don't know. Um, but I think you have to like maybe pull yourself out from just the operation of like a DoorDash, right, into like the larger scale competitors. They're also competing against the local mom and posh pizza shop who pay their employees to go drive, right? So there's the cost there. Um,
So their game is not delivery. I mean, I get that sense from DoorDash because they're pushing
yeah.
marketing, and like they're discouraging people from ordering delivery, where they're more they're pushing pick up, go pick up yourself as a customer. So they I can see what you mean by that now. Where see, my game is not that. I think we can be in agreement that my game is absolutely not that angle. And again, it's what they were thinking when they started this company. But the cost to run what they're running is it's ridiculous to be at a loss for almost. I started in 2018, but they've been around at least a decade. To be running negative in a decade, yeah, there's got to be a
There's a long game, yeah. But like personally, I'm invested in Uber. Like I have shares of. I mean, it's publicly traded, right?
yeah.
But the reason I'm doing that is I imagine a company like that has some sort of long game where they eventually will turn profitable. But all that being set aside, I to go back to why we're having this conversation, this all comes down into how you're going to price. And so I think the biggest thing for you to consider is your competitors have this offering as one piece of their larger business, and you have to play within the realms of how they price. And so if you're able to price, if you're offering, if your differentiation is lower cost to drivers
And better earnings.
and better earnings,
I
right?
saw those stickers.
This is just one input for you on how you're going to price your stuff.
But that was the silver truck in the front, huh?
Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
You eventually, all I'm saying is your your competitors and how they price it is just one input for you, right? You need to be aware of it, and you will always need to price yourself lower than the competition.
Exactly.
But at the same time, look at their operating expenses and look at yours. That's where you're doing a gut check and saying my numbers are wrong. Like, I don't think you need to be flipped of it, but it's maybe we'll go through your exercise again and you can show it to me, but that is at the high end. I think we need to start on year one.
Well, yeah, right now, for example, right now to run my app here in North County and run it with just 100 restaurants, let's say 300 just in my city vicinity, and 600, 300, 1,200 drivers that I'm gonna need. I only need a software engineer plus my licensing, which is right now my cost is the licensing. What is it called? My fixed costs are about $1,000, like hosting and Apple, the licensing software and all that. It's about $1,000. And then the next thing would be my software engineer to make sure that the app is running correctly and building features. It's about $150,000. Now, if we multiply the 1,200, so it's 1,500 drivers. I make $1.8 million annually, and I only spend $200,000. This is where
say those numbers. This is okay. I'm not. Don't take my expression as
no. I know.
What? Tell me that again.
So here in North County we have 300 restaurants, right?
Yep.
At 365, that's $109,500 annually.
$100K annually.
110K, right?
Okay.
From restaurant membership. Then on drivers, it's 1,500 drivers, five drivers per business, right?
Yep.
1,500 times $1,200 each annually. Is $1.8 million.
Okay.
So for me I could hire a software engineer here with no experience from Cal State San Marcos at 100,000, and then my fixed costs are about $1,000 on licensing and software payment, to stay compliant.
Okay.
And that's all I need.
Okay. And that is so. So purposes of why we're talking about this is for you to build out your model. Do you have that in there?
That model, yeah.
In your year one, okay.
Yeah.
And then, do you have any line item for who's going to be, if all 1,500 drivers message you at the same time, like who's managing all of those intakes? Is there a customer
chatbot? So we have, we're going to be utilizing a lot of our chatbots. And again, for customer service, we are using our services and our drivers and restaurants for low level. On high level, the chatbot we're going to build is going to deal with most of those issues. Then if the need arises, which it will, we will incur that cost, which is maybe about $60,000 for 3 cities. And again, we do see the need for that, but using our drivers in restaurants, we can minimize that cost. So maybe one or two people, another $120,000 for 3 cities.
Okay. Remind me what? Pull us back. Why are we talking about this? What are you trying? Are you trying to bounce these questions off of me, or did you want to just validate that this is the right model to use?
I'm trying to validate if this is the right model to use.
Okay. Can you pull up the numbers? I think it'd be better if we looked at all of the things you're talking about. So this is year one.
Okay, let me see if I can pull them up. I've been struggling to put them on the chat on the live plan because it doesn't have that feature. They're looking to see if they can add it. Which before I forget, do you have another program or app that I can use to build this? Because I've been trying to use Word to build it, and I'm having to learn Word before I can build it.
To build what? Your model?
My business plan, yeah, my business model plan.
A business model plan, like the description of your company. Typically, companies use Microsoft Word.
Oh, really? Can you send me? Can you send me a sample of what that looks like? Because I mean, I have one built. I just don't know if that's what it looks like. It's just a bunch of numbers and letters.
You're talking about a business. Hold on. Are you talking about? Yeah, show me what you're referring to. This?
Yeah.
The finance. This is your financial model, not your business.
Yeah.
So this is fine. You can use Live Plan for this. Are you talking about this right here? The words? What? This
No,
business plan.
This is my business plan.
Yeah, you use Microsoft Word. There's no other way around it. Like
Oh,
you can
really?
use. Yeah, Microsoft is prevalently used across like every organization. You could also use Google. What is
Docs?
it called? Google Docs. Yeah,
I'm gonna take,
that's live and shareable.
because I'm about to close this because again, the features I'm looking for to put this information are not there, because this is right now this is the best I've been. Where is it? This, where I put my costs, profit and loss, my expenses, all this comes into play. But I don't understand it.
Who built this?
The the auditor that I hired to the person I hired to audit Crowbotics, they helped me build this foundation.
Okay. I think the amount of time it would take me or anyone else. So
Rosie,
I'll put it this way. This is so remember when I said why the cost for your legal fees may increase?
This is why.
Right? If you can't answer your own business, then my advice to you is you need to hire someone to help you at this point, like help you
build this.
No, if you want someone to take what was built in the past, analyze it, and help you rebuild for the future, that is a lot of energy and time. If you want to take what you know and start building, and just this sort of stuff is like contextual at this point. It's to me like I don't have enough time to help get to the very specifics with you. So you're gonna either need to, again, pay someone. Not telling you to do that. I would personally scrap this all and just think, use the numbers that you have: 365, for a restaurant, and 1,200 for your restaurant, and then build out your model from there. The only cost that you need to refer to in the past is the Crowdbotics cost that you have. Everything else you can just document. I think less time that you spend confused, and the more time you can start building. Because you need to remember, like, what's your goal right now? Is it attracting more restaurants, attracting more drivers, attracting angel investors to start investing? Those are the questions I've got for you.
Yeah, the angel investor right now, because I'm being very bad at communicating my pitch. Plus, presenting myself by myself is not doing anyone any good. So this has been a good way to kind of visualize, get an idea of what a business plan and how it's supposed to look. But at the same time, it's given me a lot of headaches to try to figure out how to implement some of the things that I need to. So I have this past couple of weeks I spending trying to learn Word. So the my main thing is when they come to long term, they want to see like all this information. How would I be able to put that into the business model? Where would I be able to? Uh, how can I summarize
What?
this
Yeah.
information? What's important from here? What's the most important information from here that I can take before I start building on another business, a simple business plan?
Yeah. So, I mean, some of these words will be used synonymously. So just remember that your business plan is how, and what, and why. So, what is your business? What's your market? It's all written typically in like a Microsoft Word document, and then it's in a PDF. This is your financial model. So, like, just to be very clear, you're trying to project your revenue, your cost, across time. So if you're trying to ask like where the inputs go into your financial model, some of them will have a place and some of them won't.
Okay.
If you want to bucket it, it's revenue and cost, because revenue minus cost is your profit. Like that's really it at the end of the day. Then there's all the line items in between. So again, I don't want to audit this because I don't have enough information. If you don't want to audit, or if you're not sure where to start, again, do you have any, like, I don't remember. Do you have revenue? Like, has anyone paid for anything yet?
No.
Okay, so you don't have any revenue. You don't have to worry about that. Only thing you have to worry about is your costs, and those costs are actuals. How much you spent for crowdbotics, how much your laptop costs, how much your internet costs, your marketing costs, how much it costs to install that TV on that car. So you should know all your costs. At this point, it's financial projections into the future. Everything that we've been talking about is called a financial projection. So you need to start doing that for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. And remember how some of your responses are like the customer call center. You said, oh, I'll have a chatbot that handles this. High level will handle this. That needs to go into your financial model. That needs to be a cost. So like for 1,500 drivers for year, let me back up. For year 1, like starting today and ending at the end of the year, if your goal is to attract 1,500 drivers by the end of the year and 300 restaurants by the end of the year, I don't know if that is, then you need to build your model based upon those numbers and work backwards. So you need to plan on having enough high-level customer call center agents to be able to respond to 1,500 drivers. You need to be able to have, I don't know, licensing fees for all, I don't know, for all 1,500 though. You need to start with how many people you're expecting to do on an annual basis. So that's year 1, and then do it for year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. The purpose of this goal is for you to know how much it's going to cost to run your business, and the goal is for angel investors to know how much money am I going to make if I invest in Moro today. In 5 to 7 years, will he be able to get acquired, exit? Will I get, if I invest $5,000, will I get $100,000 back? Is he going to be able to 10x or 20x this company? So that's what you need to do at this point. You need to take what you know, probably start from scratch, and just build out your financial projections based upon the conversations we've had so far.
I'm so glad I'm recording this conversation, because I'm just gonna this last part is the thing that I was looking for. Um, you're right. I don't have any profits. Everything that I've done has been just on beta testing, but I can use that model where I am and then grow from there. And I'm gonna use that scale. Three cities, and then go on to the next 3 cities. And Southern California, at least in the area that we actually are kind of grouped like that. So I think if it's okay with you, I think I'm gonna work on that today and have that done. I want to send it to you, so then you can give me just an idea. It won't be this mess. It will just be the the summary.
What I'd like,
Uh-huh.
more, let me maybe be more specific of, I don't know the software that you're using, but
Yeah.
what I'm looking for is an Excel doc. Like typically it's sitting in an Excel. You know how to use Excel? Okay.
I can learn
It
though.
doesn't have to be Excel. No, I don't. I'm not trying to make you relearn something. My point is, all I want to see is 5 years, right? 2025, 26, 27, 28, 29. And then I want to see revenue and cost. Right? That's it. Now, you need to have a supporting document. So, not to overcomplicate this, you need to break down your revenue model like within there. So there should be like on either a separate sheet that says line item 1 for revenue is from the restaurants, right? The 365 per restaurant. Then line item number 2 is your revenue from the ads, and then line item number 3 is the revenue from your drivers. So that's your revenue. Your cost is going to probably have 5 to 7 buckets. SG&A, right? That's sales, general administration, marketing, software development, HR, legal. So right, so then you have those, and they all add up to your total numbers. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
And then you need to use that as a starting point to see, do I need to increase my prices or do I need to decrease my prices? Or are my costs to run my company too expensive, or are they not realistic? That's the starting point that we need to get you to. Then you can remove all this other junk and just focus on like what you have in front of you.
Yes, that's what I. Okay, I think I'm gonna get that done today. I'll send it to you. Give me an idea if I'm on the right path. That's the main reason I want to send it to you. If I'm on the right path, and then after that, I can work on that and give you a full report on next Wednesday. But today's Wednesday or Thursday?
Today's Thursday,
I
but
never
I
know
think
the
we
day.
meet on Thursday.
Yeah, we meet on Thursdays.
So I want you to just go Google financial model template. Like, I want you to type in financial model template in Google and go to the first image.
Doing it right now. Just go to images.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Now, some of these are a little more complex. It has a line items each, but this is what you need to build.
Like
Yeah,
this.
show me what.
You want to see what my
Yep.
let's see what my best friend says?
Okay.
We could go to. Okay, click on the one. Let's see. It says financial summary. Go underneath it. You see the blue to the left.
This one.
Yep. Just look at that. So you see how it says the revenue is software subscription, add-on subscription, hosted analysis, stream 4, stream 5. That gets replaced with what I just told you, right? We just talked about that. Then your cost of goods sold, your COGS, that's that's your cost. Right? And then revenue minus cost is profit. To make it pretty simple.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to get you to. And that gross profit number is important. The numbers I'm going to really see at the end of the day is your total revenue, so the blue line, the total cost, and the total profit. And typically, your angel investor wants to see your revenue to be believable in 5 years. So if you're getting to 35 million, like this says on on what you're looking at, year 5 says 35 million. That's believable, right? Your gross profit being 29 million could be believable, and then your total cost is 5 million. Those numbers
Are believable. So it's not just about the number. It's they have to align with. Even though we're not there, we can break the model once we prove otherwise. But right now, we need to kind of play, and this is what you meant, I think, by saying play the game that they're using. Because I know I want to break the mold. I want to disrupt the industry, but I don't think I could do that when I'm barely presenting an idea. It's only after the fact that it's already running. It's like, oh my god, this guy really has disrupted the industry. But
yeah, because like your cost of goods sold too, though. Like I want to see that call center number, right? 1,500 drivers. You're gonna need to put, I don't know, let's call it 2 people, 2 customer call center agents for those high level tickets. And then to build the bot, it's going to cost you, I don't know, $150,000. So that's like $400,000 in cost right there just to handle customer call center support. Then I don't know, but like that's the sort of thing I want you to be inconsiderate of your costs. So take that with a grain of salt. Okay, I think we covered a lot today. So I sent you notes from our first session. I'm about to send you notes from our second session. What I'd like to see by next week, if you want to meet next week, I want you to message George today. Don't CC me. I think at this point you can handle it. But just be like, hey, what are next steps? Get him to commit. Get him to explain to you what happens now. When do you get the LLC conversion? What does he need from you? Like you need to be in a driver with him. Okay, so do that. So drive with George. Number 2, I want you to rebuild your financial model. It doesn't have to be completed by the time we meet, but I want you to start thinking about your revenue, cost, etc. Now, for our purposes of our conversation, I don't want to get down into the weeds with you. I want you to give me high-level numbers. I want you to do the math of how to get there, but I'd really like to focus on revenue, cost, profit, and I want the supporting line items of what got you to the revenue, what got you to the cost. I don't want to spend time down there. I just want to see it so I can see how you came up with the math.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay. I think we're good. Let's check our time for next week to make sure we got that on the schedule. 1 second.
Yeah, because next Thursday I have the boot camp for the Angel Conference. It starts at
We should definitely be attending that. Okay. So next week I can do so depending on how much time you want to spend, I am free between 9:30 to 11 on Thursday. So that's 6:30 to 8 for you. Or on Wednesday the 8th, I could do anytime between 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. your time.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get working on that financial model. I want to get it done because I have everything so fresh. I need to get it done. Send it to you, and then based on that, thank you, boss. Based on that, you can either tell me if it's we can meet sooner or later. Because I also want to make sure that I have the information that you need so we can do that. I'm getting progressively. I'm getting better at it because we're spending a lot of time on the small function where we need to be like on a higher level. But yeah.
So yes, I'm gonna say we need to be on a call to go through this versus email. So why don't you pick a time? Do you want to meet on Wednesday? Do you want to meet earlier? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
I like early, and for me the days doesn't matter. I think if I want to get this done today, then let's do Wednesday.
Let's do Wednesday. Okay. So let me just double check my calendar to see if I have
that way Thursday I have the whole day just to. I mean, this Thursday's gonna be just.
No. I agree. I want you to focus when you get to that session. So hold on, let me look.
And it's in person too, so.
Oh yeah. Okay, I do have open. So I've got a 7 a.m. on Wednesday your time, and then I have an 8. So let me just do a quick. Hold on, let me just do a quick adjustment. So they're back to back.
Let's do if you have 8 because I guess I don't have to rush my mom.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I have let me just double check. I have a so you're saying you want to meet at 8 instead of 7?
Yeah, on this Wednesday. Yes.
You remember the big
that's fine. Yeah, go ahead and grab it. It's available. So grab it at 8 o'clock. And we'll talk to you then.
Let me 8 o'clock next. Getting it right now. And I'll send you that the first rough draft of my of the business financial model because I do have it. I know I have it. It's just not constructed in the way that you need it. So Thank you for letting me know that, and I will send that to you, and we can go from there.
Okay, sounds good. It was
Thank
great
you.
catching up.
Have a good
Okay.
one. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.